Most Irish whiskey, I think, plays it safe at this price point. Light, easy, smooth, and honestly, maybe a little forgettable. But this is different. This is an Irish pot still whiskey aged in virgin Irish oak. And at $76 where I am, is this actually better? Well, today we're looking at the Glendalough pot still virgin Irish oak whiskey with a very large Saint Kevin right there. I'll talk about him later. If you want a history lesson, stick around to the end. All right. Oh, that's nice. Super nice, sort of gold color, no color added, and non-chill filtered. Yeah, nice sweetness in there. It's got a bit of weight. I love Irish pot still whiskeys because there's often so much texture. There's a richness here that you don't always get with triple distilled Irish whiskeys. I have like candied ginger. Really nice. There's a graininess, bran. Yeah. Malty, oaky, all at the same time. Grainy. There's something though I can't quite make out. Maybe I'll come back to it later. See if it hits me. But definitely a sweetness like guava maybe. Golden fruits. So this Irish pot still is made from a mix of malted and unmalted barley, but here's a twist. This is matured in ex-bourbon first and then finished in virgin Irish oak. That's unusual. Most whiskey, Irish, Scotch, even bourbon, is aged in American oak, sometimes European. But Irish oak, you almost never see it. And here's the risk. Virgin oak can go too far, especially if it's short-lived. Too tannic, too spicy, too drying. It can completely overpower the whiskey. We see this with a lot of young whiskeys especially. So let's hope that doesn't happen on this one. Cheers. Oh yeah, okay. This is definitely where it separates. Much different from the nose. First thing, texture is chewy. Nice oily coating. It sits on the palate a little bit spicy. Quite grainy and spicy. Wasabi maybe? Something herbal in there. Grassy, dusty, earthy. As it lingers, sort of a baked sweetness comes in, but still grainy. Reminds me of like white toast with rich butter on it. But that oak is quite bold. Tannic and grainy, a little peppery. It dries the palate just enough, I think, to give it structure, but it's not too drying. Almost like a strong green tea or fresh cut wood. Really interesting blend of herbal notes, grains, and sweetness. Peanut shells. That's the smell. That reminds me, I don't know why, but St. Cleven of Glendalough, pictured here, dates back to the 500s. Yes, 500 AD. Though born to nobility, he became a hermit in Glendalough, living in a cave on the south side of the lake. Stories tell of his simple life, deep respect for animals and birds, wearing only animal skins, and sleeping on the rocks. Eventually, he became known as a holy man who people traveled to seek advice for. He was a founder and abbot of Glendalough, a small monastic community that was established because of him. So the Irish oak casks for this whiskey are made from oak grown from the Wicklow Mountains in Ireland. And each bottle is numbered, traceable, not just to the cask, but to the tree itself. Mine here, I've got cask number 1. Cool. Bottle 149, and it traces back to tree at number 5. I kind of wish they would take it one step further and include a map to where the tree was even harvested. But they are using 250-liter hogshead casks, slow toasted, not heavily charred. And the forestry side, I think, is actually pretty interesting too. They're using a continuous cover forest system, planting 7 saplings for every tree they harvest. For me, the Irish oak, I think, might be a little tannic. a bit more spice driven, but a little bit more structured. And that's exactly what you're tasting here. But this isn't your easy Irish whiskey. It's not a Bushmills 10. If you're expecting something light and ultra smooth, this might feel like too much. Now, there's dryness, there's structure, and for some people, that's going to be a downside. Now, if you like pot still whiskey and it leans into texture and you like a little bit of oak influence, if you want something that actually feels different in a category that can sometimes blur together, this for me is really compelling. And at $76, it punches above its weight. For me, I'd happily drink this on its own. It's got enough punchiness to even cut through a whiskey and Coke highball. Do what you want. No one's judging. This isn't the safest Irish whiskey you can buy, but it might be one of the most interesting at this price. For me, the value's strong. The uniqueness is high. Is it memorable? Absolutely. Thanks for watching. See you soon.